Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker, it's good to see you. Listen,
you're a Bitcoin maximalist. You're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.
Hey, I don't have all the answers, but together, I know we can find them.
Down in competition in the ratings tab for late night weekend viewers.
hey everybody, welcome to Rob Nelson Live. Happy Monday to you all. I got my, it's either a prison wall or it's a comedy wall going here as I travel place to place. I'm actually was in the Caribbean last week. Now I'm in Southern California. And it's beautiful weather here. But as always, I'm adjusting my gear location-wise to set up for each new spot. And it always is a challenge trying to get my, here we go, watch this. Rob does the little lighting trick. My light does not want to stay on me. Here we are. What to talk about today? We'll have a few things in mind. So I'm going to talk about the government shutdown to start because it's fascinating to me. So there have been 12 shots now at them taking votes on the continuing resolution. So let's just get this straight, okay? We got a government. This is how dysfunctional our government is. It's like a really bad relationship, or me trying to pick up a glass of water and not spill it. They voted 12 times, right? And what the government is trying to do, right, is simply pass a little like stopgap measure, which I don't like to begin with. I hate that they do this every time. Why don't we just let's just clear it up here. Let's just get rid of this idea of appropriations bills that we pass on the yearly, okay? Just forget it. We never do. They always come up with a continuing resolution, a CR. Let's put off the decision on the key appropriation bills that we by law have to pass. To extend some time so we can negotiate, the two parties, or within the parties, in this case, the progressives and the moderates and the Democratic Party, the hardcore, uber right conservatives, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, and the more moderate part of the party. Let's buy some time, and almost always, let's extend the debt ceiling because we need some more money. We always spend more. We are like the worst example. Our country is the worst example of fiscal responsibility you could ever teach somebody. Like, it's literally, we spend more than we have constantly. We rack up massive debt. We can't pay for our debt. We stall by borrowing more to pay for our debt. We extend in every direction we can, and then we pass it off to the next crowd to deal with. That's how we run the government. And we go crazy at the thought of cutting spending, but we always can find reasons to spend more. Well, there's always something more we need. I need this, you need that, they need this, everybody needs something. Anyway, 12 times they have failed to simply pass the continuing resolution. They're not failing to pass the appropriation bills. They're not even trying to pass the appropriation bills. They're trying to do stopgap funding. The goal was to buy some time to then pass the appropriation bills. Well, that bought time is going to be used up in stalling to pass the continuing resolution. They can't even pass the thing to buy more time. The House has passed it. The Senate keeps killing it. And it'll fail again. So there's going to be no shocker here. So here's the thing. The stopgap, I'm calling it a stopgap, the continuing resolution is supposed to last till November 21st. It was to buy, what was it? September 21st. It was to buy 2 months of time. Half that time, 1 month, has been used up in a shutdown. So now, if they pass it, it would open the government till November 21st. 1 month. We'd have 1 month to solve all the problems, fix the big bills and pass them. They were giving themselves 2 months. Now we're down to 1. And that's getting longer. This isn't going to pass tomorrow. When it's Thursday, hold on. When does they vote on it? This week, sometime this week. It's not going to pass. So we're going to week 5. And it'll be down to 3 weeks of the resolution. Pretty soon you won't need the resolution because it won't buy you anything. Well, we are passing a resolution to keep the government open for 2 more weeks. Like from November 2nd to from November 7th to November 21st, we're going to keep the government open so we can real quick pass all the big bills. No, it's almost like they need a new one because it's not going to be done. But meanwhile, the government's absolutely shut down. And what is this all about? This is all about, what's it really all about? We'll talk about what do they say it's all about. This is all about the Democrats want an ironclad commitment. Chuck Schumer wants an ironclad commitment to extend Obamacare subsidies on premiums. That's what this is about. That's what this all comes down to. We want a guarantee that Obamacare, which is a piece of fucking crap. Sorry, I hate our health insurance system. I hate it. It's on and I don't care which side of the politics you're on. Our healthcare system is a disastrous train wreck run by pharmaceuticals, big technologies, big corporate pharma, big corporate hospitals running a massive, massive, massive Ponzi scheme on us. The cost of healthcare in America is astronomically off the charts. And it gets jacked up and jacked up and jacked up. I know surgeons who operate practices, and they are incentivized to charge double, triple the rates by doing it inside a hospital. Procedures they would do for, make a number up, $2,000. They will cost $6,000 if they do it in a hospital. The incentive is to go to the hospital, charge more. The hospital makes more money, you make more money. The good, thoughtful, compassionate doctors, practitioners, surgeons go, it's not just surgeons that have this situation. I don't need to do that. I make plenty of money doing it my own way. I don't need to jack up the costs on my patients, which means they jack them onto the insurance companies, which is why we have such massive premiums, because we are all paying triple for what we should be getting, and everybody's making money except those of us getting the treatment. We're just paying for it. Now, your insurance company theoretically pays for it, but try getting, you want an individual health insurance plan like I am without a company? It's extraordinarily expensive if you want anything decent. It's expensive if you want a piece of crap plan. You want a horrible HMO. But if you're like me and you travel, I need a PPO. I need to be able to pick my provider. Extraordinarily expensive. And to keep it even reasonable, what do? I pay a massive, massive deductible. So the reality is, I'll pay a massive amount in health insurance, and I'll pay a massive amount in costs until my deductible's met, which is probably the extent of my medical costs. The amount I will pay in a deductible, and many of you are like this, and the amount I will pay in insurance will exceed what I will actually get in healthcare benefits. Why do I do it? In case of emergency. I'm essentially paying for catastrophic health insurance. I'm essentially paying for in the event of something really bad and I have to be in the hospital, because then it's $10,000 a night. That's what I'm buying. I'm buying, it's like fire insurance. The house burns down. It's so stupid the way it's set up. And Obamacare is great. Sure, if your income's low enough and you get some subsidies, but that just jacks up the cost on everybody else anyway. So the whole thing's a mess. This is why the entirety of the US federal government is shut down, because one side wants to guarantee ironclad extending premium subsidies for Obamacare. That's why we shut our entire government down. I'm literally at the point of shut the whole thing down, period. Just shut it down. See how long we can go without a federal government. I mean, keep the basics in place. Honestly, I'm kind of like, I'm going Trump beyond. How many people could we just, how many departments could we just shut down, period? Could we simply just bye-bye education department, bye-bye interior department, bye-bye energy department, like just start shutting them down? Or what if we said, hey, let's do an 80% cutback in everybody. Let's just do across the board cuts. 80% of all federal agencies cut 80%. Just 50% of all federal costs cut. Sorry, it's going to hurt everybody. Everybody's going to suffer. You know what? Somebody drops a nuke, somebody does an EMP, somebody takes out the power grids, everybody's going to suffer anyway, right? So consider this a halfway course. Yes, there's going to be some pain and suffering, some belt tightening across the board. What if we just did it? What a wasteful, inefficient machine we have. And it seems to be okay. I don't know about you. My world hasn't fallen in yet. It's been a month with the federal government closed. I've noticed zero difference in my life. Now, does that make me special? I don't know. There are people who are noticing. If you work for the federal government, you don't have a job. I'm sure there are a lot of people affected by lack of services, but I am not unique. Most people I know, and I don't hobnob with all billionaires. I know some billionaires, but most of the people I know in my life, across the board, across multiple states, communities, worlds, family members, parents of kids, kids of parents, like all of it, I know almost nobody who is like, I am so screwed right now because of the federal government shutdown. Basically, everyone I know doesn't notice any difference in their lives. What does that tell you? We all need to ask ourselves right now, wait a minute, this isn't really affecting me. Who's it affecting? It does affect some people. I'm going to argue, and I could be way off on this. I think it affects a minority of the population. I think the majority of the population is largely unaffected by having our federal government shut down for a month. Now, ask yourself in any other scenario. Let's say we shut your power off for a month. I think that would affect you. It'd affect me. I wouldn't be doing this show right now. I could do one show with no lights and a computer till the computer ran out of power. My charging pack ran out of power. Okay? Shut your water off. Water and power off for a month. Think that'd affect you. Nothing in the fridge, no water. You got to have bottled water. We're heading toward the doomsday scenario, right? Took your means of transportation away, whatever that is. Okay, if you go by car, bus, train, boom, affect us all. We're all riding around on bikes. Got to go local. Shut down all the stores in your neighborhood that you could get to for groceries, for other things. Just even start with groceries, essentials. That affect you. Took this away. Look at how scraped up the back of my phone case is. I need a new one. It's a toughie. This has hit the dirt a lot. Take this away. Yeah. Oof. For a month. No calls, no texts, no Instagrams, no socials, no feeds, nothing. Even that, well, wouldn't be life-threatening. Whew, a month. Take the federal government away for a month. Most of us can't even tell a difference. Every single activity I do is the same. Not one single piece of my life has altered because of the shutdown for a month. Not a thing. Not my shows, not my business calls or work, not how I dress, going to the gym, what I eat, where I live, where I'm staying, watching sports, doing everything in my life is the same. And for most of you, it is too. We are being conned by an aggressive, bloated, oversized, enlarged government that largely feeds on itself and supports the large lobbying groups and institutional players that feed into it and off of it, with very little going to most of us. Now, that's not 100%. You could argue, well, we need a military. That's the very libertarian view. Okay, maybe we need a military. Probably we do. Probably need a few things. There are some essential government things, but I'll bet we could get the government down to 20% of its size. 20% of its size, and I don't think we'd notice. Now, this fight is not really about healthcare. Republicans are willing to have the negotiations about healthcare after you pass the continuing resolution, which again, we're not going to need to pass pretty soon because it was only to buy us from September 21st to November 21st, and we're already at the end of October. I think it's October 27th. So We're already used up a little over a month, as I said. We got a little less than a month. They're going to fail to pass it this week, so we're going to be down to 3 weeks. Pretty soon, there won't be a need to pass a continuing resolution because it will have expired. Like, we will be to the point where it was supposed to be. With still nothing solved, no big bills passed, appropriation bills, no continuing resolution, and the government still shut down. I want to see how long we can go. I want to see how long we can go with the shutdown. I'm pushing now for 2 months, 3 months. Now, we are going to hit a cliff on certain things, right? Air traffic controllers, right? The military. And one that does cut to the core for me, well, it is not most people. It is kids. An enormous number of kids depend on federal nutrition programs, their school lunches. And that's a big deal. It's a reminder of how dependent so many in our society still are on the federal government. But, I don't want to see kids go hungry. So there are going to be some things I'm going to argue. Somebody gets creative here and goes, forget this stupid continuing resolution. Forget all this. We are funding these 4 things, period. We are putting out a bill. We are going to pay for our service members. We are going to pay for air traffic controllers. We are going to pay for kids' lunches. We're going to pay for 2, 3, 4 other essential things. One of them is not the IRS, by the way. Bye-bye. No. You don't get to pay no. I'm not paying you to sit on your asses to then figure out how to collect my money. Sorry, no. We'll pay for essentials, and that's it. We're going to have a bill called Pay for Essentials Bill. And in it is X billion dollars to cover the key essentials to keep the system running, keep our military staffed, keep things, essentials like air traffic control, FEMA emergency management stuff, food for kids, those in need who depend desperately for their well-being on the federal government. Will fund that. Period. Done. Happy New Year. We'll pick it all up in January. That's what we should do. Will they do it? Absolutely not, because they're all just playing politics. And maybe they will. I think what will happen, I know Ted Cruz has talked about putting a bill on the floor for like air traffic controllers. I think they will piecemeal some of this together, but that might be the way, and this anonymous donor or whatever is not anonymous anymore, paying 130 million, great, but it's like not even close. It's $100 a person. It's a massive bill. So we got to pay that bill. We got to pay the air traffic controllers. We got to feed the kids. We got to take care of essential services, keep the lights on, so to speak. But wow, we might discover, look what we just don't need. Look, all the people and things we just simply did fine without. We don't need them. Why not? I mean, there's a whole new way to do it, right? Although someone tried to bring a bill last week. Who was it? I have it written down here. Van Hollen, Democrat of Maryland, tried to do it to pay troopers, and it got blocked. This is all politics. All politics. Even paying workers who are working for the federal government but it's still working and not getting paid. They're arguing if you do it Trump's way, they'll pick who they want to send home and who they want to keep. Whatever. It's all stupid politics. It's politics. Food stamps, open enrollment for Obamacare, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, all is going to run out. Here's the tough one. Democrats are facing a reckoning. I had to look this one up, what it's called. The American Federation of Government Employees, the AFGE. Ever hear that? I never paid much attention either. American Federation of Government Employees. It represents 800,000 federal workers. It's a union of federal employees, almost 1 million. So many people work for our government. Woo! 800,000 people. And they've had enough. And they said to the Democrats, enough. Take the clean continuing resolution the Republicans want. No conditions, nothing attached, no subsidies for Obamacare built in. Take a clean overtime. 1 more month to sort things out. Keep the government open. The Everett Kelly, the president of the AFGE, representing almost 1 million workers, all you're paying for, 1 million people you're paying to go to work every day. I wish everybody was paying for me to go to work every day. Everett Kelly said, the best path forward is to, quote, reopen the government immediately under a clean continuing resolution that allows continued debate on larger issues. Wow. What a simple thought. I'm sorry, this is politics. And Democrats are losing. They are playing in a game that they just keep losing. It's like they're like the Cleveland Browns. It doesn't matter what they do, who they get as quarterback, they just keep losing. They brought in Baker Mayfield. They keep losing. Baker Mayfield's in Tampa Bay winning. Take the division. Super Bowl contenders. Could well be in the championship game. They went for Deshaun Watson. Molested, harassed, sexually, whatever, with every masseuse that you could find in the southeast of America, southeast states, and they still took him with the highest paid contract of all. Bring him in, even though he was injured. Bring him in. He's going to be great. Well, where did he go? He's gone with the wind. The Cleveland Browns can't win, right? They just can't. That's the Democrats. Doesn't matter what you do. They can't seem to win. They're supposed to be a political party, and they seem to suck at politics. And they lose, and they lose, and they lose. And the more they lose, the stupider the ideas they come up with. It's like the Democrats are like the Cleveland Browns. We'll bring in Joe Biden. And yeah, he's old, and we'll keep him in the basement. We'll hide it all up. COVID will make it easy. We'll get him elected president. Why? I don't know. Why don't you get somebody good elected president? Remember, Joe Biden was losing in the primaries in 2020. And then Senator Jim Clyburn from South Carolina kind of propped him up, gave him a one-up, got Carolina, and they all wrapped their arms around him and went from there. Joe Biden was a horrible president, not just because he was in cognitive decline. That just was like icing on the cake. Joe Biden was never going to be a good president. If you're old enough like me to remember, Joe Biden's been running for president since like before I was born, practically. I'm exaggerating. But probably before David was born, but before Talk to Me Taylor was born, the guy's been running for president forever. He never won. He never got close because he was never presidential caliber material. He was never a leader. He worked well in the Senate where he could stay permanently entrenched, and he was master at elections and deception and pretending to be one thing. He was never Scranton Joe. Scranton Joe, hardworking. Oh, Scranton Joe, shoveling. Woo, woo, woo. It was never that. He's a really good con man, stayed in office in a small state, never meant to be president. Democrats get him in, and what does he do? Nothing. The country's a mess. His COVID policies are a disaster, train wrecks the whole thing, blames it on everybody else, and then loses his cognitive abilities, and they cover that up. It was like, remember Nancy Pelosi suggesting he should be on Mount Rushmore? Like, history will remember Joe Biden for one thing and one thing only. Two things. One, being the only president to be president, to run against an incumbent president, win, and then lose to him again, to be unseated by the guy you won, the only president to do it. Trump wins, then loses, then unseats the guy who unseated him. And two, for being the only president to exist in such massive cognitive decline that was covered up. And his presidency will be remembered as a train wreck. And it is the squish, it is the Oreo in between the Donald Trump, it's the cream in between the Donald Trump Oreo cookies of Trump won, figuring out how the government works, getting the shit kicked out of him, impeached 1 million times, put on the cross outside of office to prevent him from ever running, wins a historic victory, and starts reshaping America. The world post Joe Biden is the biggest shift we are seeing. The America post Biden, the biggest shift we are seeing since I'd say it's the biggest shift since World War II, the post World War II, the post World War II world that shifted that came out of it, both nationally and internationally. The U.S. presence is truly the dominant world power, one of a couple, but the biggest one, reshaping the world on our terms. What happened post-war with Europe, the Marshall Plan, the rebuilding of Europe, Japan, to trade relationships, the economic growth, the emergence of the superpower America. Trump, too, is the shifting of what that looks like. It's not making America less than. Joe Biden, you could argue, was part of an era of America less than, where America was looked at as less than. Trump is like America's. Did you see him in Qatar with Amir and the prime minister, patting him on the arms? Hey, you're a good man. He's a funny guy. I like this guy. We're going to do great things. We've done good business. Trump was a genius in understanding that in the modern world, and it's not just in the modern world, it's about relationships. It's all about relationships. He is negotiating peace with relationships, using and leaning into relationships to go, let's have business together. We like each other. We do business. Let's do more business and less war. How about we all get in bed together and make money? And then we don't have to shoot each other. And you guys don't have to shoot one another over there either. Let's all, come on, join the club. Let's be business together. He's a genius at using relationships to negotiate deals. And people can mock him and laugh at him. And we'll see how long the ceasefire holds in the Middle East, but it's holding. And all you out there who are crying and screaming about, all the Gazans who are being killed, the Palestinians in Gaza, I'm listening. Because they're not being killed right now. There's nobody shooting. There's aid coming in. That's called peace. So you want to mock him for that? You want to mock the situation? Then you just show how stupid and small-minded you are. That's what you show. And how petty. It's really not about peace for you in the Middle East. It's about Trump. Trump figured out how to get them to stop shooting at one another. Now, Hamas still trying to shoot, but they're pretty hobbled. They don't have a whole lot of guns, so to speak. They don't have a whole lot of people. And they're flickering out. And they're not going to go away. And if they don't go away and they flame back up, Israel's going to stomp on them and put them out, whatever the casualties that ensue from that as well. So quickly on the Trump thing. So yes, our government shutdown, I'm for it. Let's just keep it going. That's my big takeaway for today. But to Trump and making deals, he was in I can never say it right, Kuala Lumpur, to see the signing of the peace accord between Thailand and Cambodia. And remember, they had the deadly clash, and they didn't get a lot of news because who cares? But Thailand and Cambodia was a big deal for all of them. Their power went off, so to speak, and Trump got in there and made peace. But the big deal, the big part of this, and he's dancing, doing the Trump dance with the Malaysian dancers, is he's going to sit down with Xi Jinping in China. And it's interesting because Trump went with 100% tariffs and the markets went insane and took a dive, and my Bitcoin and your Bitcoin went whoop. I love how Bitcoin wasn't supposed to correlate with the markets, and it's literally what it does. It literally parallels what the U.S. markets do. I mean, it's like the TradFi markets. So, I love this. This is Trump before he gets to Asia, right? Here I've got. He announced a tariff hike on Canada. No more negotiations because they're not negotiating the way he wants. He's a hard ass. Peace in Gaza, where that's at, and Ukraine. We're going to amp up the guns. No more. Putin's played me one too many times. Everyone thought Trump was getting played by Putin. He was, but I think Trump thought he could win it. And when he realized he couldn't, he's like, I'm done. I'm done playing. Now I'm going to get nasty. We'll see. And then, all the different meetings he has set up. The guy's like a nonstop. Remember Joe Biden, who was outrunning Corinne Jean-Pierre, whatever, outrunning Binder? I mean, first of all, Binder is such a liar. It's so disgusting. These people just lie. Like, just be honest. Now, you've become an independent. You've left the party. How about you just be honest and stop pretending you never noticed Joe Biden was in decline? You just thought he could literally run circles around all of you. In fact, he was I mean, it's amazing. Like, he worked around the clock while I was sleeping. It's like, seriously, the guy was napping all the time. Was like going to bed early, getting up late. I don't know. Like, good God. Anyway, Trump's like a nonstop. Trump is the Energizer Bunny. That guy's insane. But here's the thing. Remember the tariffs on China, right? 100%. The markets went nuts. Everybody flipped out. Well, good news. Kind of worked. Secretary Bessent went over. I only keep saying this. I'm going to be the identity politics guy, the first openly gay Secretary of the Treasury. Hello, CNN. CNN. Can you say it? Scott Bessent is the first openly gay Secretary of the United States Treasury in American history. If he were a Democrat, it'd be the cover of Time. But Scott Bessent doesn't care that that's what. It shouldn't matter. I'm making fun of the fact that they put him up on pedestals whenever it's a Democrat. First up. When there's a Republican, nah. Melania Trump doesn't get on the cover of Vogue, even though she's the first supermodel to be a first lady. She was already kind of on the cover. Maybe she was, for all I know. She should definitely be on the cover now. No. But we'll put Michelle Obama on 17 times. Not a supermodel, just being clear. But they went and had good talks, and Trump's 100% tariff threat, based on the Chinese, planning to put export controls on all critical rare earths, which we need for mostly for all high technology, advanced technology, but mostly for the chips for AI. So he was on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan, CBS News Face the Nation, and said, we had a good meeting. I would believe that, so it would be an extra 100% from where we are now. And I believe that is effectively off the table, meaning, and he says, I would expect the threat of 100% has gone away, as has the threat of the immediate imposition of the Chinese initiating a worldwide export control regime. So basically, we're not going to throw 100% tariffs on them, which we said we would, after they said they were going to, on rare earth materials, they're going to knock on rare earth materials, and we're going to not them with 100% tariff, and the presidents will meet and they will negotiate. We're moving forward. It's working, everybody. Remember, America was going to go south and we were in the garbage can with the tariffs. The only thing in the garbage can is our federal government, which is closed, and I'm not noticing, and neither are you. I'll see you all on Wednesday. Thanks for watching. It's Rob Nelson.
Meet Rob Nelson, talk show host.
Because you got the 70s thing going there. I got someone's underwear.
Robert Kennedy, thanks for taking a minute. Simple question.
Tucker,
It's good to see you. Listen,
if you're a Bitcoin maximalist, you're Bitcoin forever.
I hate this central bank digital currency.